morning, everyone. My name is Nicole Yang, and I'm the Chief Marketing Officer of SECOO, S-E-C-O-O. So as Laurie and also the MC just put me, like SECOO is an e-commerce platform that focus on luxury and the premium categories. And just now, Kelvin also asked, like, how many of you have their real, like, the stores are offline, and I think even less of you want to really open an offline store in China. But e-commerce definitely is one of the most important retail channels that you're looking at. And today we are going to zoom in very, very detailedly about how to do luxury and the premium e-commerce in China, and what kind of person are really buying so expensive things online in China. So that is something I'm going to share with you today. Okay. So first of all, let me give you a very brief introduction of SECOO. So if I can only have 4 keywords to describe SECOO, the first one is number 1. So we are the biggest vertical e-commerce platform in China that focuses on luxury and also the premium side. And last year, 2016, our GMV is 5 billion RMB, which equals to around like 700 million Europe here. And the second one is, which is also make us very proud of, is our premium consumers. That in China, we have 15 million consumers, and their average basket size or transaction size is 4,500 RMB. What does that mean? Which is like 600 euro. And compared to the big e-commerce platform in China like Jingdong or Tmall, the average basket size is under 50 euro. And we are 600 euro. So that we are talking about around like 10 times difference. And the third is globalization. Not only we have the branch office team in Milan, and our colleagues from Milan is also here, but also we have our logistics system and also the retail system globally. And the last but not least is authentic. If you're talking about luxury, that's something you just cannot skip. And SECOO actually co-op with China government together, and actually 6 of the Republic of China's like regulation actually is the government work with SECOO and to published. So that is basically about SECOO. Okay, so before we talk about how to do the luxury e-commerce, so one question is, what has been changed in the e-commerce world? Does our consumer change? Their demand change? What has really changed? So our answer is, actually, the consumer path changed. So what is the new path, and how this path impact our marketing and business strategy? So we alliance with Tencent. We all know that it's the China market cap #1 international internet company. And we have done one thing last December, is we put the Tencent's big database of the luxury digital and advertisement database docking, which connecting with SECOO's e-commerce database. And so that we can form a very true and very complete consumer journey, that a consumer starting from looking at your advertisement or WeChat public account, all the way to purchase, what is the journey there? We all have the data of each transaction, each conversion. So that is the core value that we can bring to our customers, no matter it's from China and also from Europe. And we not only docking our data, but we also to collect all this data together and doing an analysis, and we form a white book for the very first time that we release the 15 million high-end consumers' data and all this analysis into this white book to the public for the past 8 years accumulation. And this book is firstly for free, and if you want this book's e-version, you can contact me after the presentation. And just a very brief introduction to the book, because I'm not going to like read your book today. Just for this book, all the methodology is based on digital path to purchase. So for each of the steps, you know exactly what is the category and what is the China's average market conversion rate and the performance. Second one, we focus on the top 10 luxury category, including the handbags, watches, shoes, clothes, jewelry, accessory, artwork, liquor, beauty, and lifestyles. And furthermore, we have a deep dive into 3 most important categories for us, which is the handbags, watches, and the shoes. Okay? So today, what I really want to share with you is another way of thinking how to do business online through e-commerce in China. And I will share with you from 3 different paths. Which one is the digital path, what I just talked about. What is the core difference between the online and the offline for our consumers? Secondly, the consideration path, which is totally different from our traditional business. And the third is the trace back path, which is totally breakthrough and reversed path that we can leverage to make our business easier in China through e-commerce. Okay, let's start from the first, digital path. So on this chart, you can see that for the golden path, which is our traditional path, I think everyone should be very familiar with that. So starting from awareness and then consumer consideration and the trial, which means the first purchase and the repurchase. And on the bottom, which is on the blue path, is the digital path, which from traffic first, and then the consumers start to browse and search about you, and then they start to add your products into their favorite list or cart, and then they place order, and then they repurchase. So when we compare these 2 paths, we can see that the 2 in the middle, which is the browse search, and also the add to favorite and add to cart, actually create a two new system of marketing and business knowledge for us, which is like browse marketing, search marketing. Search marketing here is not talking about the search engine marketing. It's the search marketing. How do you do the search marketing within an e-commerce platform? And then also the add to favorite marketing and the add to cart marketing. So there's a lot of information you can dig on, and you can make your business strategy based on that. And also the path is different, and also the consumer is different. And let me give you some of the some bites of what kind of consumers are really buying luxury online in China. Okay, first of all, we all know that we thought women are the shopaholics, right? Like all the women buy. But actually, no. In China, all the gentlemen buy. Okay, so in China, you can see that in 2016, that our male and female weight, the 47% is male consumer, and the 53% is female consumer is consuming the luxury online. And more interestingly is our male consumer actually place more order than our female consumers. I see that gentleman is very happy about this data. And more importantly, for each of the spending, the male consumer spend more than female. So you can, it's in RMB. So the male consumer averagely is 3,177, which is higher than females. And the frequency, if you purchase 3 times more in 1 year of luxury, the male percentage is also higher than female. So you can imagine that when we are doing the research of our consumers, we ask, why you want to buy luxury online if you can really go to a store and experience all these services? And our male consumer tell us that, you know what, in China, for example, you are in Beijing. If I want to get a blue shirt in Armani, for example, I need to suffer from the 2-hour traffic jam all the way to the city center. And in that big shopping mall, I have like 7 stories. I need to go through all those stories to search for my blue shirt. And then when I get out, I need to suffer another 3 hours of traffic. That is waste of my life. That's why I think e-commerce is a very, very efficient way for this kind of consumer to shop online. And about the geographically, that we know like Beijing, Shanghai, Chengdu definitely is the big market, big cities that consuming the luxury online. And after that, like Shenzhen, Chongqing, all these cities, actually this is the top 20 cities, right? And if you make this chart even longer, I have like go through all the data around like top 40. You can see the height of the consumption of the order and consumer data, consumer number, actually quite similar. What does that mean? Mean that in China, definitely the top cities, Beijing, Shanghai, Chengdu, Guangzhou is big. However, there's much more potential in this we call long tail distribution of the cities. And e-commerce definitely is a good way to help you to reach those consumers in the remote area of China. And this chart is even more interesting, is that previously we say if we take a city as a unit, that Beijing, Shanghai, Chengdu is the top. And if we take consumer per consumer's purchase frequency as a unit, then this is the top 10 city. I know you cannot read because I cannot read too. It's all the like Wujiaqu, Aletai, it's all in like Xinjiang, Tibet, in the Mongolia, all these cities are there. The consumers there purchased luxury online even more frequently than the major cities. Why? It's very easy to understand, because there's no physical shop there, and they are not really traveling abroad. So e-commerce is the only channel that they can buy luxury and they can buy authentic luxury products. Okay, talking about consumers, talking about the path, and the second thing I want to share with you is called consideration path. We know that before joining CoOp, I worked in P&G, Procter & Gamble, for more than 10 years. And you know, like P&G, we try to datalize everything, okay? So when we are doing all those things, we say, okay, we can easily know our awareness data. Do you know the brand? Yes, no, okay, very clear. The trial data, very clear. Have you bought? Yes or no? However, are you taking consideration of my brand? That is a very hard question for consumer to answer. And also for the culture-wise, because when I was in P&G, I'm doing the global headquarter marketing. And a very interesting thing is, we found no matter what kind of question we ask our consumer, the score will be quite similar in a country basis. What does that mean? If you rank the perfect answer in 5, and I don't like it at all in 1, for the Japanese consumer, they will always give you a score as 4.6. They love everything, but they will just tell you they love everything. But whether they will purchase or not, that's totally another thing. This is culture. And also, in contrary, do you know which country always give a very, very low rate to? Sorry? Quite near, not France, actually is North Europe. The people there are very direct, and they're sorry, I don't like it. Everything, sorry, I don't like it. The average score is only like 2.6. So when you're asking this like research question, actually you just cannot really get what your consumer is thinking. But this thing can be changed in digital world. This thing can be changed in e-commerce. Why? Because for the lower path, you have the add to favorite database. You had add to cart database. You even can leverage the search database in the e-commerce side. That can give you huge information about what kind of consumer is considering what kind of products from your brands. Let's do an exercise, case study. So this is a very informative chart, and you can see a lot of this very informative chart in the white paper that I can share with you in any time. So on the vertical side, you can see that this is the 10 luxury categories, like bags, clothes, watches. And on the horizontally, you can see the blue part is the path. So starting from the browse to add to cart, to cart to order to repurchase. So each of the category perform very differently. And you really need to leverage the uniqueness of your category to do online business. Let's do an exercise. Let's do a case study. For example, let's take bags, okay, handbags as an example. So as handbags, you can see here, the browse percentage is actually quite high. 30.1% consumers browse about handbag in the luxury e-commerce platform. That's the highest among all. And then for the second step, when it moved here from here, add to cart, only 9.2% of consumers add their handbags into their shopping cart, which is like mid number around amongst these 10 category. And then cart to order, only 3.5% of consumers actually check out, actually paid for the products that already put into their shopping cart, which is the bottom two. I think only like following the watch is for the 3.5%. And the repurchase rate, 24.4. What does this mean? If you are selling handbag on e-commerce in China, actually you will get a lot of traffic. Automatically, people will browse. However, it is very hard to make them really purchased. So your focus should more on how to convert these consumers who has already put your bags into their shopping cart or add to their favorite list, and then do the targeted marketing to them, rather than you to do a broad like advertisement campaign and to drive more traffic to them. And if we zoom further, okay, we look at the browsing ranking. So these are the top 10 brands of the handbag categories that get browsed in the luxury e-commerce. And then you can see, for example, like Gucci. Gucci is the #1 brand, which taking the 10.7% of the whole browsing within this category. So for Gucci's marketing people, you say, I'm doing a good job, right? A lot of people are looking at my products. And then we're looking at order, how many people purchased. So still in China, you know, we didn't like separate order like entry, prestige, and prestige. We just put them together. But if you want, we can separate. So if we put everything together, so Coach, Michael Kors, this like entry prestige still rank the #1, #2, and the Gucci is the #3, but already the #1 amongst all the luxury bags. Okay, if in the traditional world, we are doing the traditional business, we think, that's a very good thing, right? For the browse, I got #1. For the purchase, I got #1 within all the prestige brands. Good job, Gucci's team, right? And what is your marketing strategy next year, if based on this 2016 data? I asked around like 10 to 12 colleagues major in marketing. Most of them give me an answer is, definitely to increase your marketing budget in China so that we can acquire more consumers to Gucci, right? So that is the way we think in the traditional world. However, in e-commerce world, there's another data you can see, and you must and you have to see, is the cart to order conversion rate. So between the browse and the order, this data is the new data you need to pay a lot of attention. This is the top 10 conversion rate. Sorry, we cannot find Gucci. Where's Gucci? Gucci actually is 19th. What does that mean? If you get this data, you will not spend even more marketing budget on advertisement, but you will more focus on why the people already put my Gucci bag on the shopping cart, but they just don't check out. What's the problem? What's the business opportunity there? And then you can zoom into different dimensions to analyze your business. For example, you can first check whether your price is correct. So this is the overall, the price range of the handbags that's sold on e-commerce in China. So you can see whether your price range is correct, or whether, oh sorry, I think the number cannot display correctly. These are the numbers which is their age. You can see whether your consumers, that the age is fixing the whole demographic of the consumers. And you can see a lot of different dimensions on the consumers who put your Gucci bag in the shopping cart but not check out versus the one checkout. You can compare them. And then you will find out what is your business opportunity to make the conversion even higher. So this is what I'm talking about, the consideration path. It can help you to have more data on the e-commerce world to analyze your business potential. Okay, so that is you use this the add to favorite and add to cart data to help you to analyze overall business issue, because this issue is not only on e-commerce, but also it's on your physical business too. The last but not least, I want to share with you the third path, which is the traceback path. It's very different. Like Karen just talked about also like data management platforms, DMP, all those things, trying to locate the right consumers, targeted consumers for you in China, right? And this is the Tencent's ecosystem that they have a lot of like different apps, and you can actually like cover all day of the consumers. However, have you think about when you are doing all this like DMP, like marketing in China, there are two unique challenges for the premium and luxury brands. Okay, first, interested doesn't mean purchaser. So if you ask a high school female student, are you interested in Chanel? She will say, yes. But will she buy? Maybe after 10 years. So that is something that the interest, because all the DMP, all the database is based on interest, okay, not based on purchase. So that is one challenge that premium brand need to especially focus on. Second thing is targeted consumer doesn't mean purchaser, okay? When we are doing the marketing, the target consumer is the virtual consumer that we think. So I will do very, very quick. And also the challenge for all the brands is the data fault. So very quick, this is a company that only have 16 employees, but they have thousands of iPhones to download your app to make all the false data that you want. Okay, so how can we skip all of that? We use the purchase data to identify the real luxury consumer. What does that mean? I will be quick. So
you have to be very quick.
Okay.
We're already running late.
So on the left side is the Tencent's database. On the right side is Seco's database. And when we connect together, we can see all the paths of one consumer. What is the journey of him? And have you ever think of how about we reverse that? We reverse that. I take all the consumers already purchased some of the luxury products, and then we trace back to their behavior in the beginning, which what kind of video they are watching, what kind of news they are watching, what kind of article they are reading. That is different. Okay, so let's talk about this. Okay, so
we really have to wrap this up, Nicole.
Okay, cool. So just give you one example of how different you think. Okay, so for the luxury audience that we think the video side for the luxury audience, we think international news, sports, finance should be the high-end consumer's favorite video side. But actually, when we are putting all my 15 million per luxury purchasers' behavior into the Tencent database and find out what they are really watching. Actually, the number one is funny video. Number two is live video. So it's totally different from what you imagine. So there, I'm trying to wrap up everything, is for the e-commerce business in China that, okay, I'm sorry, I have to skip all this. These two paths are not isolated, but totally interlinked. And you can use a lot of e-commerce data to fix all your business problem, not only in e-commerce, but also in your physical business. So that is something I want to share with you. And if you want to get the digital white book, and please, you can add my WeChat, and I can send you the copy for free. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks very much.